Hello, nerds, and welcome back to the 6 Grotmas reactions. Tom, LowestofMen here. Hope you're all doing well, and I'm back again with another detachment. We're on number 3 now, and it's one for the Tyranids with the Warrior Bioform Onslaught. Now, this definitely feels a niche for the Nids. They've got some great detachments already. I'd say some of the best, but I think this lets you do something a bit different, and hopefully leans into one of the units that we've not seen as much of since its Terror days in 9th edition. We'll hopefully see back in action through this detachment, which I think has a lot of fun, a lot of flavour, and a lot of tricks. And I'm excited to start unpacking it with you here. Please do hit the old like and subscribe. Please leave us a comment. I'm no Tyranids expert, so I'm sure I'll miss some tricks and combos, so you let me know. I'm very interested to know what else is possible here and what you guys are looking forward to doing with this new Tyranids detachment. Remember, you can also support us as a YouTube member by signing up for YouTube memberships. You can access our Discord, you can access coaching, you can access all sorts of fun games and events and other things. Come and support us that way too. Brilliant, let's get into it. So, the first thing I want to call out is calling a detachment after the unit you definitely want people to take. I've not seen this done before. I think this is a bit cheap. Other than that, I love Bioform Onslaught. Did it need Warrior on the front? It feels like a really sort of like, do this, take these. That's my one gripe with this whole detachment, though. Everything else here is awesome. So let's look at the detachment rule. Tyranid Warriors and Winged Tyranid Prime units get a 5+ invulnerable save. So Winged Tyranid Primes can lead Gargoyles as well. But they give sustained hits to the unit. And I think this is obviously just going to make your warriors that little bit more durable. It's not full Leviathan warriors from the days of 9th. You've not got the transhuman, but a 5+ invulnerable save on multi-wound models goes a long way for making them that little bit stodgier. And one of the other important details is that it means that your Tyranid warriors of both types become battle line, and they also gain OC3 each. So that's very spicy. I think Nids are already an army where objective control and OC control is massive. OC3 on warriors gives them enormous play. That's extremely frustrating for opponents because you can shove massive bricks of 18 OC even before the characters included. Is really, really effective. Nids already have tons of OC. I think you can be running cheap OC2 in this, so this is going to drown people in OC. I guess the fairest comparison might be the Outlander Claw in GSC, where again, bolstered OC goes a long way, and you don't really feel its benefit till you see it on the table. But for a primary bossing army like Nids, with their potential to shut down primary scores via Shadows of the Warp, having even more high OC to chuck out is really, really nice. And it just means 1 or 2 warriors surviving is often going to be more than enough to hold a point. So really, really effective. Nice rules so far, simple and effective. Let's move over to the enhancements. So we have Synaptic Tyrant. This lets you attach a Neuro Tyrant to a Tyranid Warriors unit. It's often nice to take a Neuro Tyrant in Nids just because of the synergy with Shadows in the Warp. I think being able to take it in one of the units that you're working with in the detachment is obviously really nice. Perhaps it goes with a range one to give them +1 to hit, and hangs out in the back there, being a bit of an Overwatch threat as well. But again, 10 points. I think this is, if you're taking a Neuro Tyrant, probably no reason not to look at plugging it into a Warriors unit here and beefing up one of your ranged attacking units. You could obviously still be running it with zone threats, but this is a slightly cheaper solution. Next up, we have Ocular Adaptation. This is a Winged Tyranid Prime model. It gives the bearer's unit +1 to hit. Now, melee warriors with a Winged Tyranid Prime are no joke. That is a punchy, dangerous unit. Loads and loads of twin-linked AP2 damage 1 attacks with +1 to hit and sustain. It's going to absolutely body the right targets if it can get into them. So I think this gives you a real hammer unit. And again, the Winged Tyranid Prime is going to be a staple. I think in this attachment, you're probably running several. And I think this helps to make it even more effective. Next up, we've got Sensory Assimilation. This gives you another Winged Tyranid Prime model only rule, but it lets you give the bearer's unit -1 to hit. Now, I think we need to see whether this is needed. I think you're still ultimately not going to be durable with this stuff. If you're building into warriors, even with the 5+ Invan, you're not going to be the most durable thing in the world. And I don't know that -1 to hit is really going to save you in the key circumstances. It's another 20-point enhancement. You're probably already trying to take 2 or 3 of the other ones here. So this is a wait and see, I think. But it's obviously, you could shove him on a brick of Gargoyles, -1 to hit, makes that really annoying. So there's definitely potential here for a spoiler unit or going out ahead of the others, being obnoxious, or maybe holding one of your safer sides. So it has play. It's just whether or not it makes it into the 3 that you pick. And part of the reason for that is that we also have elevated might. Now, this is a mighty 30 points. This is expensive, but it gives the bearer's unit the ability to advance and charge. This is only a Tyranids model. It doesn't even have to be on warriors, but obviously advance and charge on Tyranid warriors is fantastic with the Wing Prime, because he gives you that nice extra movement, helps you yo-yo out ahead of a squad and make a longer charge, makes people really have to respect their threat range. And Tyranid warriors are already very dangerous for a lot of targets. So I think this has some real juice. And this is certainly, for me as an advance and charge lover, I definitely want this in there. So the good news is those are all good. I like all those enhancements. They're all effective. I think your issue you're going to have is that you want to save points for units and you don't want to take too many. I could definitely see you taking 3 of these. For me, the -1 to hit's the one I'm less excited about, but maybe you don't worry about a Neurotyrant and just go all in on Warrior Prime bricks with the different buffs. I'm going to be really interested to see what Nid's players do with that. But, I mean, so far, guys, pretty slam dunking, right? Powerful rule, makes a certain set of units we've not seen much of, much more relevant, and enhancements that are going to give them beef as well. So really, really liking that so far. Let's get into the stratagems then. So first up, Synaptic Amplification. And this is a shooting or fight phase stratagem. You pick a Tyranid unit that has not been selected to shoot or fight. If it's a Tyranid Warriors unit, you can then pick an Endless Multitude unit that's not battleship within 6 of it. And until the end of the phase, each time a model in those units makes an attack, reroll a wound roll of 1. And if it's a Tyranid Warriors unit, reroll a hit roll of 1 as well. Now, you're going to have potentially very accurate Tyranid Warriors combat unit or shooting unit via Neurotyrant or via the enhancement. So getting hit rolls and wound rolls of 1 on these and on your buddy unit, as it were, is really nice. Just very effective force multiplier, getting some rerolls going, helping to push through damage. You won't necessarily need it all the time, but I think it's a very nice to have, and just a straight up improvement of output is nice to see. Next up, we've got Spontaneous Hyper Corrosion. Now, that's a good strat name. Oh, the strat game is on point. In your shooting phase or your fight phase, 1 Tyranid unit that's not been selected can add 2 to the strength characteristic of ranged weapons equipped by models in your unit, or 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by Tyranid Warriors and Winged Tyranid Prime models in your unit. Now, that's going to take things up into quite scary places. The Winged Tyranid Prime can go strength 7. Obviously, with Twin Link rerolling the wounds, this has the whole net effect of pushing a Twin Linked unit like the Warriors into a much better place for pushing damage through high toughness targets. So I think in that sense, it's really, really effective. We've not seen a lot of shooty Tyranid Warriors. I think obviously with +1 to hit, it's possible that, you know, with a Neurotyrant as well, I think getting extra strength on a shooty brick of Warriors is really nice. But obviously, again, this isn't locked to a warrior unit at the range one, so you can just bolster up the strength of one of your shooting units. There's a lot of possible output and application there, and actually, strength is one of the things Tyranid shooting has struggled with, is into those very high toughness targets. This gives you a way, especially combo with other things in here, of getting that damage up and over, and really, really pushing it through. So I think you'll see this definitely in action more. Next up, we've got Restorative Impulse. In your command phase, 1 Tyranid Warriors unit from your army that's below its starting strength, return 1 destroyed model, excluding characters, to the unit. This is hugely powerful because this can bring OC3 back at a key moment and flip an objective, right? Nids are all about winning the primary game. I think this gives you some really good jank for doing that. Extremely effective. I think being able to grow back in the command phase always forces overcommitments and misplays from your opponent, trying to prevent the risk of that. So again, massively effective and useful. Definitely really, really good. Obviously, for Tyranids, where you can have a Hive Tyrant wandering around handing some of these out for cheap, I think that makes a massive difference here, because these all feel like stratagems you're going to want to use in turns at the moment, which is sick. Next up, we've got Synaptic Micronodes. Always with the Synaptic, right, guys? There's always got to be Synaptic this, Synaptic that. In your movement phase, 1 Tyranid Warriors unit from your army can select an objective marker and make it sticky. You will hold it even... hold on. That objective marker under control until your opponent's leaving control of that objective marker is greater than yours at the end of the phase. Yeah. So essentially, sticky the objective, keep it under your control. This is always a really powerful tool to have. Nids can really block in parts of the board and then push out with walls of bodies in front. So I think if you're able to sticky a portion of the flank and then just push on with your army, especially these warrior bricks that are good output, don't want to be sticking around, but also have incredible OC. This was a big part of Outlander's power, right? The ability to sticky objectives. And I think The fact it has to be warriors is good. It stops it being completely wild in terms of its uses. But this means that your warrior bricks can take a point, secure it, hold ground with it, lock it down, sticky it so the opponent has to get to it somehow, and then push on and go and take more. So I'm feeling real primary bodying potential from this detachment so far, and I am loving it. I think it's quick and punchy. It wants to shoot. It wants to fight. Good OC, and now sticky objectives on top. This is feeling really, really good so far. Next up, we have Parasitic Payloads. So this is in your shooting phase. You pick one Tyranid Warriors with ranged bioweapons that's not been selected to shoot, and the unit gains Ignore Cover. After the unit has resolved its shooting attacks, you select an enemy unit hit by those attacks, and until the end of the turn, models in that unit cannot have benefit of cover. This is fantastic, right? So I'm not sure you're going to lean too hard into ranged warriors, but being able to strip cover for your exocrines or other heavy shooting hitters that you have in the Nids detachment, again boosting the strength up with the other strategy and the 1-2 here of remove cover and bolster the strength on an exocrine, that's really good. And this is something Nids have consistently struggled with, is armor of contempt and high toughness targets at range in particular. So I think being able to keep people honest in that sense is massive and really, really effective. So again, just a fantastic suite of tools on display here. So the final one is Synaptic Shield, and this is a buddy system one, a bit like the Mephitic Blightholder one from the Death Guard. So after you're being targeted with a shooting attack, pick a Tyranid Warrior unit, pick an Endless Multitude unit that's not battle shocked, same as before, and those units both essentially gain -1 to wound against higher strength shooting. So again, very effective and can just swing the output, swing the efforts of someone to hurt you on a flank. If that keeps your warriors alive, for you to then res another one. And it's worth remembering, the resurrecting warriors, if you don't kill that brick, they resurrect, they gain movement, they come and get you. It's really, really powerful. Goodness, what do I think of this? I mean, this feels very powerful to me. Warriors are cheap right now. They've just got a whole bunch of ways to be more effective and more dangerous. I think Tyranids, by definition, also are a go-wide cheap army. They've got incredible rules in baseline, some incredible data sheets. I feel like this solves a lot of their recurring problems. I think, remove cover and extra strength at shooting is brilliant. Extra strength in melee and reach for the warriors while still making them more dangerous feels really, really good as well. I like all of the enhancements. I think because Nids have such a great range of data sheets, you're going to be able to build like a core of warriors to take advantage of most of the tools here, but then still plug in and play with lictors or neurolictors, exocrines, maliceptors, whatever other kinds of things you might want in there to support them. It's a great set of stratagems. So again, Hive Tyrants I think feel very useful here as well. And this is going to play primary like an absolute mother, right? It's got great OC. It's fast. It's going to come and get you. And it's got all the right tricks for securing parts of the board and then moving on. Once you couple that with the fact it's got Shadows in the Warp and the potential to just completely flip the primary as it is, I think you've got a real menace here. And this feels very, very effective. I think where it will struggle is just it's not that durable still, and it doesn't have the real durability boosters of Invasion Fleet. So I think at times it's going to need to pick its engagements and pick its moments very carefully, because even boosted warriors can still get hoovered up. And so it's going to need to choose its moments, shimmy into position, and then connect en masse and really put the opponent away. But I think if it does that, it's got massive knockout potential. And it's another one that opponents trying to go tit for tat with it are going to really struggle, because there just is always this risk of really dropping down on primary because of all the rich OC and the battle-shocking power of Tyranids as well built in. So, all in all, I think this is awesome. I think if you're a Tyranids player, you must be delighted with this. Just because it's exciting, it unlocks yet another way to use Nids, yet another suite of units come to the fore. We've seen Warriors in Vanguard, but not much else. But this feels extremely flavorful and powerful. And what I like about it is it's not brain-dead durability warriors like the 9th edition. This isn't just shove the army in the middle and win by turning up like some of our 9th edition Tyranid lists were. This is all about hitting people on your terms, using your combination plays and your OC to absolutely smash them on the mission, and also put them away on the damage if you connect at the right times in the right places. That's really cool, guys. I mean, between Dark Angels, Death Guard, and this, we are off to an absolute cracker. Every single one feels great in its own way. To me, this feels like potentially the strongest of the three that we've seen so far. I'd be very interested to know what you think. I think it's just because I think Nids are already in a great spot and can plug a whole wide range of things in, and I think they'll work really well with this detachment. It doesn't send you off down too narrow a path, as perhaps the Death Guard one has, and it's not working with limited assets as I feel like Dark Angels still are, despite having some great rules in their detachment. So is this the breakout star so far? I certainly like the look of it. I would love to play this. Very, very powerful. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please do hit like and subscribe, leave us a comment. Remember, if you want to support all the work we're doing, and we are going to cover every single Grotmas thing, we've got live shows, content going out all the time. If you want to chuck us a little bit of money and support our efforts, you can sign up as a YouTube member to support us that way. And if you'd like to get some coaching with myself and any of the other team members, then get in touch. We do that through the Discord. Very happy to take on new people. And maybe you're an IDS player and you want to get stuck into this. I would love to plot and scheme with you. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you all again tomorrow for even more goodness. What a time we are having. Lowest of Men out. Bye-bye.